He was born in rural Oklahoma during the Great Depression. His father worked in the lead and zinc mines, breathing in toxic dust that would kill him before he turned 40. Before the boy could walk, his father had already decided what he would become. He would be a baseball player, the greatest baseball player who ever lived. His name was Mickey Mantle, and for 18 seasons, he was with the New York Yankees. He won 7 World Series championships. He won 3 Most Valuable Player awards. He hit 536 home runs, more than any switch hitter in history. He could run faster, hit harder, and throw farther than anyone who had ever played the game. And he did it all on legs that were held together with tape and willpower, playing through pain that would have ended most careers before they began. This is the story of a man who had everything and nearly threw it all away. A man who became a hero to millions and spent his final days warning children not to be like him. A man who embodied both the glory and the tragedy of American sports. Mickey Charles Mantle was born on October 20th, 1931, in Spavinaw, Oklahoma. His father was Elvin Clark Mantle, though everyone called him Mutt. His mother was Lovell Richardson Mantle. Mickey was their first child together, though Lovell had 2 older children from a previous marriage. Mutt Mantle was a semi-pro baseball player who never made it to the big leagues. He worked as a tenant farmer and a county road grader before finally landing a job in the lead and zinc mines of northeastern Oklahoma. The work was brutal, the pay was poor, the dust was poison. But Mutt had a dream that kept him going. His son would make it where he never could. Before Mickey was even born, Mutt decided to name him after his favorite player, Mickey Cochrane, the Hall of Fame catcher for the Philadelphia Athletics. What Mutt did not know was that Cochrane's real first name was Gordon. Mickey was just a nickname. Years later, Mantle would joke that he was grateful his father never learned the truth. He would have hated being named Gordon. When Mickey was 4 years old, the family moved to Commerce, Oklahoma, a small mining town about 20 miles from Joplin, Missouri. Mutt went to work for the Eagle Peacher Zinc and Lead Company. Every day after his shift ended, covered in the gray dust that was slowly killing him, Mutt would come home and teach his son to play baseball. They practiced next to an old tin barn behind their house. Mutt pitched right-handed while Mickey batted left-handed. Then Mickey's grandfather, Charlie Mantle, would pitch left-handed while Mickey batted right-handed. They used tennis balls because baseballs were too expensive. By the time Mickey was 5, he was already a switch hitter. By the time he was 10, everyone in Commerce knew there was something special about the Mantle kid. Mutt Mantle was relentless in his pursuit of his son's baseball future. Every day after work, no matter how exhausted he was from the mines, he would practice with Mickey for hours. He believed that switch hitting would give his son an advantage. He believed that managers would eventually platoon players, using right-handed hitters against left-handed pitchers and vice versa. A switch hitter would always be in the lineup. Mutt was right. The relationship between father and son was complicated. Mutt pushed Mickey hard, sometimes too hard. But Mickey worshipped his father. Everything he did on the baseball field was for Mutt. Years later, Mickey would say that after his father died, baseball became a job. Before that, it had been a way to make his father proud. Mickey was not just a baseball player. He was a natural athlete who excelled at everything. At Commerce High School, he starred in football and basketball, as well as baseball. Some people thought he might become a professional football player. The University of Oklahoma even offered him a scholarship. But in his sophomore year, everything almost ended. During a football practice, Mickey was kicked in the left shin. The injury seemed minor at first. Then it got worse. The doctors diagnosed osteomyelitis, a serious bone infection. In those days, before antibiotics were widely available, osteomyelitis was often fatal. The doctors considered amputating Mickey's leg, His parents drove him through the night to Oklahoma City, where he was admitted to the Crippled Children's Hospital. There, doctors treated him with penicillin, a new wonder drug that had only recently become available. The treatment worked. Mickey kept his leg, but the osteomyelitis would plague him for the rest of his life, weakening his bones and making him susceptible to injury. In 1948, while playing for a semi-pro team called the Baxter Springs Whiz Kids, Mickey caught the attention of Tom Greenwade, a scout for the New York Yankees. Greenwade had actually come to watch another player, a third baseman named Billy Johnson. But during the game, Mickey hit 3 home runs. Greenwade knew immediately that he had found something special. Because Mickey was only 16, Greenwade had to wait until he graduated from high school to sign him. In the spring of 1949, immediately after graduation, Greenwade showed up at the Mantle home with a contract. Mickey signed with the New York Yankees for a bonus of $1,100 and a salary of $140 per month. His father thought it was a fortune. Mickey was assigned to the Independence Yankees in the Class D Kansas-Oklahoma-Missouri League. He played shortstop and batted .313, but he struggled at times, striking out frequently and making errors in the field. At one point, he called his father and said he wanted to quit. Mutt drove to Independence and set him straight. Playing baseball, Mutt told him, was a lot better than working in the mines. Mickey stayed. In 1950, Mickey moved up to the Joplin Miners in the Class C Western Association. He won the batting title with a .383 average. He also made 55 errors at shortstop. The Yankees knew he could hit. They were not so sure about his defense. That winter, Mickey met a high school senior named Merlin Johnson at a dance in Picha, Oklahoma. They started dating and would eventually marry. But first, Mickey had to go to spring training with the New York Yankees. The spring of 1951 changed everything. Mickey arrived at the Yankees training camp in Phoenix, Arizona, and immediately started destroying baseballs. He hit over 400 feet in exhibition games. He hit 9 home runs, including shots that traveled distances nobody had ever seen. Casey Stengel, the Yankees' legendary manager, was astonished. He told reporters that the 19-year-old from Oklahoma might be the greatest prospect he had ever seen. He was destroying baseballs. Mickey made the opening day roster. He was assigned to right field because Joe DiMaggio, the greatest living Yankee, was still playing center field. Mickey wore number 6. He was nervous and overwhelmed. New York City was a long way from Commerce, Oklahoma. The early months were brutal. Mickey struck out constantly. The New York fans, expecting a superstar, booed him. In July, Stengel sent him down to the Yankees' AAA affiliate in Kansas City. Mickey was devastated. He called his father again and said he wanted to quit. This time, Mutt did not just talk to him on the phone. He drove all the way to Kansas City. When he arrived at Mickey's hotel room, he did not offer sympathy. He started packing Mickey's bags. "If you are not man enough to play baseball," Mutt said, "you can come back to Oklahoma and work in the mines with me." Mickey got the message. He stopped feeling sorry for himself and started hitting. In 40 games with Kansas City, Mickey batted .364 with 11 home runs and 50 runs batted in. The Yankees called him back up in late August. This time, he was ready. He was given number 7, which would become the most famous number in Yankees history. The Yankees won the pennant and faced the New York Giants in the 1951 World Series. In Game 2, Mickey's life changed forever. It happened in the 5th inning. Willie Mays, the Giants' rookie center fielder, hit a fly ball to right center field. Mickey and DiMaggio both went after it. At the last moment, DiMaggio called for the ball. Mickey tried to stop, to get out of DiMaggio's way. His right foot caught in an exposed drainpipe cover embedded in the outfield grass. Mickey went down hard. His right knee twisted at a sickening angle. He lay motionless on the field while 65,000 fans went silent. DiMaggio made the catch, then knelt beside his fallen teammate. They carried Mickey off on a stretcher. What happened next was even worse. Mickey's father had come to New York to watch the World Series. When Mickey was taken to the hospital, Mutt came with him. Outside the hospital, Mickey put his arm around his father's shoulder for support. And Mutt collapsed. Mickey had not known that his father was sick. Mutt had been hiding his illness for months. He had Hodgkin's disease, a cancer of the lymphatic system. The same disease had killed Mickey's grandfather and two of his uncles, all of them before they reached 40. Mutt Mantle would die the following May. He was 39 years old. Mickey's knee injury was diagnosed as torn ligaments. He had surgery, but the knee was never the same. For the rest of his career, he would wrap his leg from hip to ankle before every game. The pain was constant. The fear of re-injury was always present. But Mickey kept playing. The 1951 injury was just the beginning. Throughout his career, Mickey suffered an astonishing series of injuries. In 1953, he tore ligaments in his right knee again. In 1954, he had surgery to remove a cyst from behind his knee. In the 1957 World Series, he injured his right shoulder, which hampered his throwing and his right-handed swing for the rest of his career. In only 4 of his 18 seasons did he appear in as many as 150 games. What made Mickey's accomplishments so remarkable was that he achieved them while never being fully healthy. Teammates marveled at his tolerance for pain. They watched him limp to the plate, his legs wrapped in bandages, barely able to walk. Then they watched him hit the ball 400 feet. They did not understand how he did it. Neither did Mickey. He just played through it. In 1952, Mickey took over center field from the retiring DiMaggio. He was 20 years old and suddenly the face of the New York Yankees. The pressure was immense. People expected him to be the next DiMaggio, the next Babe Ruth. Mickey responded by hitting a .311 batting average with 23 home runs. The Yankees won the World Series. They won again in 1953 and again in 1954. From 1949 to 1953, the Yankees won 5 consecutive championships. Mickey was at the heart of it all, though he was still learning, still growing into his enormous potential. On April 17, 1953, exactly 2 years after his major league debut, Mickey hit a home run that changed the way people talked about power hitting. It was against the Washington Senators at Griffith Stadium. The pitcher was Chuck Stobbs. Mickey, batting right-handed, crushed a fastball that cleared the left field wall, hit a beer sign 60 feet above the ground, and kept going. The ball left the stadium entirely, crossed 5th Street, and landed in a residential neighborhood. Red Patterson, the Yankees' publicity director, left the press box to find the ball. He discovered that a 10-year-old boy named Donald Dunaway had retrieved it in the backyard of 434 Oakdale Place. Patterson paced off the distance and announced that the ball had traveled 565 feet. The term tape measure home run was born that day. The ball and bat are now in the Baseball Hall of Fame. Mickey hit tape measure shots throughout his career. He nearly hit balls out of Yankee Stadium, a feat that had never been accomplished. He hit them off the third-deck facade where no one had hit them before. Ted Williams, perhaps the greatest hitter who ever lived, said that the sound of Mickey hitting a baseball was like an explosion. In 1956, Mickey had the greatest season of his career. He called it his favorite summer. He led the major leagues with a .353 batting average, 52 home runs, and 130 runs batted in. He won the Triple Crown, the only switch hitter ever to accomplish the feat. He also led the league in runs scored, with 132, slugging percentage at .705, and total bases with 376. He was named the American League Most Valuable Player. The numbers only tell part of the story. What made Mickey special was the way he played. He could hit the ball farther than anyone. He could run faster than anyone. He was once timed running from home to first base in 3.1 seconds, a speed that seemed impossible for a man his size. He could throw with power and accuracy from the deepest parts of center field. He was a complete player, the kind who comes along once in a generation. perhaps once in a lifetime. Casey Stengel, who managed some of the greatest players in baseball history, said that Mickey was the best he ever had. Bill Dickey, the Hall of Fame catcher who worked with Mickey on his defense, said the sound of Mickey's bat hitting the ball was different from anyone else's. It was like thunder. That October, the Yankees faced the Brooklyn Dodgers in the World Series. In Game 5, Mickey played a crucial role in one of the most famous games in baseball history. Don Larson, a journeyman pitcher with a losing record, was throwing a perfect game. In the fifth inning, Gil Hodges hit a deep fly ball to left center field. Mickey ran it down with a spectacular catch, preserving Larson's bid for perfection. When Larson retired the final batter, he had pitched the only perfect game in World Series history. Mickey hit 3 home runs in that series as the Yankees beat the Dodgers in 7 games. Mickey won his second consecutive Most Valuable Player award in 1957, batting .365 with 34 home runs. He won his third Most Valuable Player award in 1962, despite missing nearly 40 games to injury. He finished his career with 3 Most Valuable Player awards, tying him with Joe DiMaggio and Jimmy Fox for the most in American League history at that time. The 1961 season brought Mickey's greatest challenge. He and his teammate Roger Maris both chased Babe Ruth's record of 60 home runs in a single season. The record had stood since 1927. It was considered sacred, untouchable. Commissioner Ford Frick, who had been Ruth's ghostwriter and friend, announced that any new record would need an asterisk if it was not accomplished in 154 games, the length of the season in Ruth's era. The American League had expanded its schedule to 162 games. Mickey and Roger shared an apartment in Queens with teammate Bob Cerv. They were friends, not rivals, despite what the newspapers wrote. The media dubbed them the M&M Boys and tried to create a feud between them. There was none. Mickey actively rooted for Roger, especially as the pressure intensified. The fans and the press were cruel to Maris. They wanted Mickey, the golden boy, the lifelong Yankee, to break the record. Roger was an outsider, a quiet man from North Dakota who had only been with the team for 2 seasons. The pressure was intense, especially on Maris, who was a quiet man uncomfortable with the media spotlight. As the summer wore on, Roger's hair started falling out from the stress. He later said he would not wish that summer on anyone. In early September, Mickey developed an abscessed hip from an injection given by a doctor who was later stripped of his medical license. The infection landed Mickey in the hospital, ending his chase at 54 home runs. Roger was left to face Ruth's ghost alone. On October 1st, the final day of the season, Roger hit his 61st home run. Only 23,000 fans were in the stands at Yankee Stadium. Many of them had been rooting against him. Mickey watched from his hospital bed, cheering for his friend. The Yankees won 7 World Series championships during Mickey's career. He appeared in 12 fall classics, more than any other player except Yogi Berra. He holds World Series records that may never be broken: 18 home runs, 42 runs scored, 40 runs batted in, 43 walks, 26 extra base hits, and 123 total bases. When the pressure was highest, Mickey was at his best. In the 1964 World Series against the St. Louis Cardinals, Mickey hit the home run that broke Babe Ruth's record for most career World Series home runs. It was a walk-off shot in the bottom of the 9th inning of Game 3. His 16th World Series home run. He hit 2 more in that series to finish with 18. The Cardinals won in 7 games, but Mickey batted .333 with 8 runs batted in. It was one of his finest performances on the biggest stage. His teammate Bobby Richardson once said that when the World Series started, Mickey became a different player. The big games brought out the best in him. He wanted the ball hit to him. He wanted to be at the plate with the game on the line. He was born for October. But there was another side to Mickey Mantle, a darker side that the public did not fully understand until much later. Mickey drank. He drank a lot. He started young and never really stopped. His drinking buddies were Billy Martin and Whitey Ford, two of his closest friends on the Yankees. Billy was a scrappy infielder who loved a good time and a good fight. Whitey was a Hall of Fame pitcher with a mischievous streak. The three of them painted New York red during the 1950s, hitting the nightclubs and bars until the early morning hours. In May 1957, the trio attended a birthday party for Billy Martin at the Copacabana nightclub. A fight broke out with some drunken hecklers. Someone ended up with a broken jaw. The incident made national headlines. Billy was traded to Kansas City shortly afterward. The Yankees brass blamed him for being a bad influence on Mickey. Years later, Mickey admitted it was probably the other way around. Mickey's drinking was rooted in something deeper than having a good time. He was convinced that he would die young, like his father, his grandfather, and his uncles. Hodgkin's disease had taken all of them before they reached middle age. Mickey figured he was living on borrowed time. He later said that if he had known he was going to live this long, he would have taken better care of himself. The drinking affected his family. Mickey married Merlin Johnson on December 23, 1951. They had 4 sons, Mickey Jr., David, Billy, and Danny. But Mickey was often absent, more interested in carousing with his teammates than spending time at home. 3 of his 4 sons and his wife eventually became alcoholics themselves. It was the family disease, passed down through behavior rather than blood. Mickey's career began to wind down in the mid-1960s. The injuries accumulated. The knees got worse, the reflexes slowed. In 1968, his final season, he batted only .237 with 18 home runs. His lifetime average dropped below 300, which bothered him deeply. He retired on March 1, 1969, at the age of 37. The Yankees held Mickey Mantle Day on June 8, 1969. 60,000 fans packed Yankee Stadium to say goodbye. Mickey, never comfortable with public speaking, gave a short, emotional speech. He thanked the fans and his teammates. He did not mention the drinking or the regrets. Those would come later. Mickey was elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame in 1974, his first year of eligibility. He received votes on 88% of the ballots. He was inducted alongside his teammate, Whitey Ford. The Yankees retired his number 7 that same year, honoring him alongside his mentor, Bill Dickey, who had worn the same number. In 1999, Mickey was named to Major League Baseball's All-Century team, voted by fans as one of the greatest players in the history of the game. His records and accomplishments speak for themselves. He led the American League in home runs 4 times. He led the league in runs, scored 6 times. He led in walks 5 times. He won a Gold Glove Award in 1962 for his play in center field. He was selected to 20 All-Star games over 16 seasons. He played more games in a Yankees uniform than anyone in history, a record that stood until Derek Jeter broke it in 2011. After retirement, Mickey drifted. He tried business ventures that failed. He worked briefly as a Yankees coach and as a broadcaster. He made money signing autographs at card shows and appearing at celebrity golf tournaments. He opened a restaurant in New York City that bore his name. Through it all, he kept drinking. Billy Martin died on Christmas Day, 1989, in a car accident after a night of heavy drinking. Mickey served as a pallbearer at the funeral. The loss devastated him, but it did not make him stop. In 1994, Mickey finally confronted his demons. At the urging of his son Danny and his friend Pat Summerall, the former football player and broadcaster, he checked into the Whitey Ford Center in California. It was one of the hardest things he ever did. For decades, Mickey had convinced himself that he could stop drinking whenever he wanted. He was wrong. At Whitey Ford, Mickey faced the truth about his life. He wrote letters to his dead father, pouring out feelings he had kept buried for 40 years. He admitted to counselors that he had been a terrible husband and an absent father. He said that baseball had been his escape from everything, including himself. The doctors told him his liver was barely functioning. They warned him the next drink he took might be his last. Mickey got sober. He started talking publicly about his alcoholism, warning others about the dangers. He appeared on television and told the truth about the mistakes he had made. He wrote a confessional piece for Sports Illustrated in which he admitted that he had really screwed up, that he had been a lousy family man, that alcohol had stolen years from his life. But it was too late. In January 1994, doctors discovered that Mickey had hepatitis C, cirrhosis, and liver cancer. The cancer was aggressive. Without a transplant, he would die within weeks. On June 8, 1995, exactly 26 years after Mickey Mantle Day at Yankee Stadium, Mickey received a new liver at Baylor University Medical Center in Dallas. The transplant was controversial. Critics accused the hospital of giving preferential treatment to a celebrity. Doctors said Mickey's case was legitimate, that he had been on the waiting list and had risen to the top based on medical need. A month after the surgery, Mickey held a press conference. He was frail, his body wasted by disease, but his message was clear. He looked into the cameras and spoke directly to the children of America. "This is a role model," he said. "Don't be like me. God gave me a body and the ability to play baseball. I had everything, and I just..." He could not finish the sentence. On August 13, 1995, Mickey Mantle died at Baylor Medical Center. He was 63 years old. The cancer had spread from his liver to his lungs and abdomen. His family was at his bedside. 2 days later, more than 1,200 people gathered at Lover's Lane United Methodist Church in Dallas for his funeral. Bob Costas, the NBC sportscaster who had grown up idolizing Mickey, delivered the eulogy. "For a huge portion of my generation," Costas said, "Mickey Mantle was that baseball hero. We didn't just root for him, we felt for him." Costas spoke of Mickey's courage in his final months, his honesty about his failures, and his determination to use his remaining time to help others. In the last year of his life, Costas said, Mickey Mantle finally came to accept and appreciate the distinction between a role model and a hero. The first he often was not. The second he always will be. Country singer Roy Clark sang, "Yesterday When I Was Young," a song Mickey had loved. The old Yankees were there: Whitey Ford, Yogi Berra, Moose Skowron, Hank Bauer, Bobby Richardson. They had come to say goodbye to their friend, their teammate, their leader. After Mickey's death, organ donations across America increased dramatically. His final plea had reached people in a way that nothing else could. Even in death, he was helping others. The Mickey Mantle Foundation was established to raise awareness about organ donation, continuing his work. Think about what Mickey Mantle accomplished. He was born poor in rural Oklahoma during the worst economic crisis in American history. His father worked himself to death in the mines. His leg nearly had to be amputated when he was 15. He tore up his knee at 19 and played the next 17 years in constant pain. He was haunted by the belief that he would die young, and yet he became one of the greatest baseball players who ever lived. 536 home runs, 7 World Series championships, 3 Most Valuable Player awards, a Triple Crown, 20 All-Star selections, the only player to hit 150 home runs from each side of the plate. Records in the World Series that still stand 70 years later. He was also deeply flawed. He drank too much. He neglected his family. He wasted opportunities that most people can only dream about. He knew it, and in the end, he had the courage to admit it publicly. That is what makes Mickey Mantle's story so powerful. He was not a saint. He was a human being, with all the weaknesses and contradictions that implies. He had extraordinary gifts and extraordinary demons. He achieved greatness, and he fell short of what he might have been. He was, in Bob Costas's words, a fragile hero. Near the end of his life, someone asked Mickey what he wanted to be remembered for. His answer was simple. He said he hoped people would remember him as someone who tried to tell people, in the end, not to make the mistakes he made. He said he hoped they would see him as someone who gave his last ounce of energy to try to help kids not do what he did. Final statistics for Mickey Charles Mantle: a career batting average of .298, 2,415 hits, 536 home runs, 1,509 runs batted in, 1,676 runs scored, 1,733 walks, 7 World Series championships, 12 World Series appearances, 18 World Series home runs, 3 American League Most Valuable Player awards, Triple Crown winner in 1956, elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame in 1974, the Commerce Comet, the Mick. Number 7, he was everything that was great about baseball and everything that was tragic about fame. He was a cautionary tale and an inspiration. He was proof that even the most gifted among us can lose their way, and that even those who have lost their way can find redemption. Mickey Mantle once said that if he knew he was going to live so long, he would have taken better care of himself. But maybe that is not the lesson. Maybe the lesson is that it is never too late to tell the truth. It is never too late to try to help someone else avoid your mistakes. It is never too late to say you are sorry. Don't be like me, Mickey said. Like and subscribe for more baseball documentaries. Until next time.